Hey YouTube, it's Thomas here. So today I'm going to talk about the Siltech Princess interconnect. Now this interconnect cost about close to $5,000 when it was new, right? So you're probably going like, whoa, how can a pair of interconnect cost $5,000? I'm with you. For me, it's just absurd. It's crazy to think that somebody would spend $5,000 on a pair of interconnects, right? But if we put price aside, the question mark is, how does it perform? And my friend lent it to me, so I got a chance to try it, right? Now, usually somebody who has a pair of Siltech Princess don't have a setup like mine, right? You know, if you're spending that pair of interconnect costs more than most of my gear add up together here. Now, they don't usually pair it with a monitor audio to test. Unfortunately, I just sold my KEF 205, and I'm too lazy to set up my Titan speakers. And the fact that I sold a lot of my gear recently, so I have actually a very low-end setup right now relative to these interconnects, right? You know, it's kind of crazy when the interconnect costs more than my power amp, my amp add together, and my speakers too. But nevertheless, I still want to talk about it since, you know, it's a rare chance that I get my hands on one. I can say I myself have a pair of Siltech also. The Siltech, goodness, I forgot what model is it. I'll just put it in the description, right? Now that Siltech was $1,000 when it was new. Now you're probably going like, wow, like $1,000 interconnect, like what's wrong with you? With a system setup like that, you're spending $1,000 on a pair of interconnects. No, I did not spend $1,000. I did not even spend $500 on it. I bought it used. And I figure I'll give it a try. Somebody lent it to me, I listened to it, and after that I couldn't give it back to him, so I bought it off him, right? And because of that Siltech interconnect, my friend borrowed it, he listened to it, and he went out and he bought this Siltech Princess, which I mentioned is about $5,000 new. Of course, he bought it used, so he didn't pay close to $5,000, right? So the first thing I noticed about my Siltech is that when I put it in, the vocals really stand out. It's very clear, it's very sharp. The way I would describe it is like eating spicy food. It hurts, but it tastes good. So with my monitor audio setup, with my even my dying audio setup, my dying audio Contour 2, it was borderline harsh. But I liked it. It's like eating spicy food. I can't get enough of it. And the vocals, as I mentioned, the singer really comes out. That's very interesting because I have transparent cables, I have Yter cables, and a whole box of cables. And I'll do a review. I won't do a review on cables one day, but I'll rather talk about it in general, right? So the Siltech is very different, the cheap one that I got, right? Now, when I borrowed this expensive Siltech Princess, I was expecting, okay, so usually as I move up the price ladder, it gets more and more sharper, it gets more clear, and I was worried that it's going to be crazy with these monitor audios because they're very bright speakers. So I'm going to put an ultra sharp cable with monitor audio. I mean, it's going to be really bad, right? It's going to be very harsh. But to my surprise, it's actually the reverse. It was ultra smooth. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand. One thing I noticed with stereo gear is as you move up the ladder, the contradiction becomes more and more. When I say contradiction, it's like this. How can a pair of speakers sound ultra sharp and ultra smooth at the same time? But that's just the way it is. So when I audition my friends, I have a friend, his speakers is about $70,000. That's what I get. It's so smooth, it's so warm, and yet it's pinpoint sharp. It's just interesting. So the more expensive gear you get, the more range you can get from it, right? So the Siltech, which is plugged at the back here, the singer now really is not only in front of you, singing here, but I can hear the breathing much more. So when the singer catches her breath, or again, sounds a bit disgusting, you can hear her saliva, you can hear her vocal cord. vibrating. Now it's not as much here as when it was at my friend's place with his Focal 1028, but even here with these cheap speaker, once I plug in that Siltech, because I'm using transparent super cables right now, and I change it to this Siltech Princess, I noticed that I can hear more emotions. It's actually a bit more moving than the transparent cable. Now with these cheap speakers, cheap setup, usually it's hard to get emotions out of it. I only hear it in very high-end setup, but with these interconnect, it's one step forward to that direction. So it's definitely a very, very interesting experience. Although I like to say that, you know, if I come across one, I would like to buy it. It's still a lot of money. I fall in a category where you should spend more money in, let's say, preamp and amp. But these interconnect really make me question, you know, how much a pair of cables can elevate your system. So I guess maybe I'll play a clip. I'll do it probably this way. I'll play a clip with the Siltech first, and then I'll swap it to, I guess, a regular RCA cable. Hopefully my DSLR can pick up the change, and you can tell the difference. But if it does not, I mean, unfortunately I'm using a camera to record, and you have to be here to hear the difference.
Your smile can't disguise the look of love. It's saying so. The look your smile can't disguise the look of love. It's saying so much more than just words.
So the first clip was I used the Siltech, and the second clip I used transparent music link interconnects. Now, to be honest, the gap is not as big as when I was at my friend's place with his Focal 1028, although I still can hear the difference. One thing that really stood out to me is that there is no, you know, sometimes when we listen to music and the SS sound at the end of the sentence, I don't know if that's the proper way to describe it, but with the Siltech, I don't hear that. Like with other interconnects, I hear that sound at the end of a sentence, right? When a singer is singing. Yeah, that's my general impression of it. Is it worth 5K? Well, you decide.
So there you go. These are the Siltech Princess interconnects. It's actually not a very soft cable. It's a bit hard. I don't know, is it because of the material used or the fact that it's very heavily insulated, right? But let me just zoom in a little bit more. Silver gold. Yep. And there you go. Any questions, comments, just leave it in the comment section. Thanks.